Hello and welcome to another edition of Dearborn Style. This footage was taken on Monday, August 28th. I'm in front of the Marianne Wright Animal Adoption and Education Center. And I was back in this area taking care of some business, and I saw they're doing an expansion, so I wanted to check it out. So Shinola time is accurate with Dearborn Style time. My camcorder clock, it runs a little hot. I have to adjust it every now and then, but I'm a stickler for accurate time. All right, get your phones handy. There's your QR code. I don't know how many people run up to their TV and scan a QR code. I know that's the big thing now, but all right, you have some adoption links and phone numbers and times and hours. And then here's the expansion out on the west side and even a little on the east. But they got the cinder block up. Demaria Building Company. So there's a number if you're curious. I didn't talk with anyone. I don't know how long this project or when it will be completed. Here's looking down the railroad tracks downtown, and this still is an active Amtrak line, but the animal shelter here took over the previous Amtrak station. There's the Performing Arts building off yonder. There's a dog park right here nearby, and yeah, right behind the library. That's the best way to get your bearings. And way off yonder, you see there's a ghetto palm on top of that building. I think they call it the Glass House. It may double as the world headquarters for some company or another, but I'm not totally sure. All right, there's looking westbound towards Chicago. All right, red flag area here, but yeah, location 1. This still, and they would call out when the train was arriving. I've used this platform a number of times. It's the closest one to me. The next stop is in Ann Arbor, and going eastbound it's Detroit. So, but here you can see the expansion. There's a worker back there doing their thing, getting this all good and ready to go. 16121 was the official address, or is, and they're doing some work on the what was the main lobby area too. So they're spending some dollars. Here, this is like the largest Dearborn logo type thing, and they have it hidden back here behind a wall. They should put it in a more prominent position. I'm not sure if it lights up or not. This is kind of probably the emergency area where they can send out signals and all that. Plus, they have the Dearborn Powerhouse. That's a better sign there. And again, there's a clock on both sides. So at one time, one of the clocks was off, but they have adjusted it, and so both are in sync. All right, and we're in the 313 area code for sure. That's where I used to roller skate as a kid. My sisters and myself, we'd get dropped off there, and we'd have a grand old time. I was a young whippersnapper on roller skates, the ones with 4 of them, not the power skates or whatever they call them now that have just the one row of wheels. All right, Regency Court, this building is coming down, and I'll give the updates hither and thither, but they said it would take 3 days to put this crane together, but I think they were doing some work on it, whether it was general maintenance or what they had going, but it's taking longer than that. But we'll see it when it's all said and done and together. They're testing it now, so the main lift is going down. Yeah, this, I was told, and I can't verify it, but I'll take this gentleman at his word from Homrich, said this is the largest crane of its type in North America. This is an auxiliary vehicle, and these are like tubeless tires or rim or no air, let's put it that way. It looks like it just works on the compression of the rubber there. Well, this is a fancy dancy high-low. I know something about high-lows. I used to, back in the day, used to operate one. I had me a high-low license and everything. Woo-wee. But this is heavy artillery here. I want to see this thing in action. They're not going to use the wrecking ball or nothing like that to take this thing down. They are going to use this big crane, and it's just going to claw away at it. It's a pretty, I think it's, well, I didn't count the stories, 10 or 12 stories. It's a fairly decent-sized building. And, yeah, the claw or the arm is going to have an extension or two. Certainly, if it's going to reach way up there. That's where the Ford logo was. They took that down. This started as a Ford building. It was built in the late 1990s. It's like, I think I had calculated 34 years old, so it really didn't have a long lifespan. It seems kind of crazy that they couldn't repurpose it, but the person that bought it is going to have a multi-use facility over here, including housing, whether that's condos or apartments. I doubt single-family homes, but who knows? There might be some upscale homes. Here, the salt and pepper shack. Well, I only see one right now. Where'd the other one go? Uh-oh. Yeah, but this count the floors. Well, it's too quick. It's at least 10, I guess. There's a Wendy's way off yonder on Ford Road, but there's like 34 acres that the developer, and he's from Dearborn Heights. I had the story, but I'll give you more specifics on what the development's going to be when it's, what the game plan is, because this is urban planning like 101. This is urban planning extraordinaire. And then off yonder, I still call it the Hyatt Regency because that was its first incarnation. But what's going to happen there? That building has been abandoned since 2018. That's 5 years ago, and there it sits. This building, it was inhabited for a while, just maintenance workers maybe, but I've seen more people in the parking lot now, so maybe they're still in business. Oh, phew. Now I see the other one there. Yeah, there's two of them. There's salt and pepper shakers. Wow, I was a little concerned there. I think that's parallax or something. There's a word for that. Yeah, but Homridge, this is their big crane, and yeah, I'm waiting on this. About once a week I'll check up on it, so I'll be back. And see, that's part of the arm there. And yeah, this is a big bad boy. There's a lot of hydraulics involved and everything. Here's another guy with some artillery. All right. That's what I'm going to do. I got my chair in the back. This is a low rider. It sits low to the ground, but I'm going to take that chair out and then sit down, maybe get a cold drink because, God, nowadays it's hot and humid. Holy cow, what's up? I'm doing this on Monday, September 4th, the audio. Another close to 90-degree day with high humidity. An air conditioning day. Well, nice pond action out here. That's a pleasant place to relax. More people maybe should picnic out there. Anyways, and then here's the football-inspired bridges. This is, I know I'm getting close to home when I see that because that's Telegraph and I-94, exit 202. But yeah, we put those bridges up when Super Bowl XL, the excellent Super Bowl, came in town. All right, well, look at this. This is in my neck of the woods for sure. They're calling it the Van Born Corridor. Telegraph and Van Born. The city, or the Citgo, by my house, right here on Telegraph on the northeast corner of Van Born and Telegraph, there's a place here, and they're competitive too. This is one of the ringleaders. You should be aware of this guy. I only put $20 in this time, but $3.39. There's a couple gas stations on Michigan Avenue that are pretty good too. This one's right next to Rosie D's Pizza. If you want to put it in Google Maps, you can find out exactly. Oh, okay, now I'm in Wyandotte. This place was advertised kind of like downriver, and I knew about it. I've never been there when they've been open in an evening and the night lights are on and everything, but look off down yonder. You can see the GM global headquarters. And what's that? Looky there. Holy cow. It's like a fan or something. All right, well, there's small boats too. So a little crap, but they have public access. I think this one is. I don't think you have to. Some of these might be like in a private marina, but I think this is. Some of the cities have their own public access. No fishing right by the pier. That stands to reason. But yeah, here I got a clearer view. So we'll do this again. GM Global Headquarters, downtown. And then we'll have a nice look at the fan here. But those are the cable stay cables. What are they officially called? But there's the U.S. side. There's a little bend in the river there, and it curves around. So I don't have a straight, unimpeded shot. There's looking at E-Course. And there's some housing and back here. A lot of boats back in through here, and we're all proud to be American. Yeah, and then, well, the Smuggler's Inn, they have that little deck thing out there. I could have walked around and taken a peek, but I don't think, yeah, my evil twin would have done it, but no, I've been back there before. That's the, look at, they got picnic tables set up here so you could get a drink, relax, and you always get a nice breeze on the river. It's that nice, pleasant, cooling breeze, and that's great. So you can chill with your friends, put a couple tables together if you want. If you got a big party, I would presume they'd let you do that. And you got a nice view of the bridge in downtown. You're down by the river. And the global headquarters, did I mention that? You can see all that. It's a great view, and the lights would twinkle at night. And then the best thing is the boat action. Oh, I was going to get some chocolate milk. I had a returnable ready, but I took the detour, and so things changed. But I'll keep it in the car. It's worth $2. Art is everywhere, even on the top of this, like a mermaid playing a flute or something. Bohemian, well, that stands to reason. That's a bohemian mermaid. And then this, I don't know, there's got to be a story behind this. Speedboats, and they got a fish fry on Friday. But how did that boat end up like that? I don't know. There's got to be a story. I'm going to have to ask the bartender. That just, you'd like to say it just didn't happen by accident, but it probably was an accident. I hope nobody got hurt. Kitty Corner is another place, well, my place, Bar and Grill, and they have a fish fry on Friday too. So it sounds like they got some kind of competition going down. So Biddle Avenue and St. John's. Yeah, it's a municipal boat ramp. Yeah, so I don't know if there's any fees involved with that or if the city probably is. But you know what? I saw the bridge back there in Wyandotte. I said, I got to take a closer look and check on the progress. So I'm near Zug Island, and this is the way the Rouge used to run around, but they dredged a little thing to shorten, so make it easier to get to the Rouge plant. But here I'm looking at this, and this is an engineering marvel. I'm just awestruck. It's like a little kid, you know. These things are larger than life, and they are. They are larger than life. This is like stadiums and big, tall buildings. This is cool. There's a niche market for everything. Not everybody's into bridge building and the like, but a lot of people are. Like the Lions, that's another good niche market. If you talk about the Lions and the Tigers too, all the sports teams, U of M. But there might be a little niche here with the bridge things. So humor me for a while I show the bridge and Zug Island. Out of all the islands that you could have in the world, and you go from A to Z, I mean, they saved the best for last. Zug Island. And they should put a resort hotel, like a 5-star hotel out there. I mean, that's tongue-in-cheek, of course, but tourists or people out of town don't know that. But we could make it a tourist attraction. All right, well, back to the bridge. I mean, look at the crane, and they're like, this is crazy. I didn't know how they were going to build it, but they're building it from the piers, and they're going to meet me in the middle type thing. They're just one section at a time, and those cables stay. It's a cantilever thing out there. I'm not sure how they put each section, but well, I'll talk more about it in a bit. But I'm on Dearborn Street, and here, 1369, the Iron Coffins. It's a motorcycle club. And they got the Old English D there. I think it's Knuckles also. That would be scary. But look here. Couldn't believe this. It's been like this for a while, but it says for sale. So I don't know if the club members are getting older or see Dearborn, and it's just kind of like northwest of Jefferson. I like this. It's an industrial part of town, definitely, and there's some heavy industry. And obviously, you don't want to. There's breathing problems. People have asthma and lung things and whatnot because of the pollution in the area. But they're mitigating it somewhat and keeping an eye on things. Here, I didn't know this was, they said it was going to open up in August. Sometimes things get delayed, but this boat ramp here in Del Rey is open again, and so this is, oh, look it off yonder. Can you see that? Oh, I always got to stop and check out a big boat. Yeah, because a lot of times that's what happens when you're down by the river. And big boats are the best, but sometimes, you see pleasure craft and fishing.
I think you have to wear, what are those things?
Fishing, fish boats. But people that like to do their fishing. And you get the wave runners and all that stuff. Well, there's the Ambassador Bridge, and that looks good too. And the GM Global Headquarters. Did I mention that? But that's certainly a landmark. I'll show another landmark on Motor Capital. But yeah, when you're with me as a kid, just tall things or whatever would attract your eyes. So yeah, look at the tower on the Canadian side, and each one of those holes up there on the tower will have one of those white cables that will extend out. I think there's like 216 on each side. Look at the crane. You have to have some guts, really, to actually just, as long as you don't play mind games with yourself. But yeah, you're cantilevered out over the bridge, and you're adding a section. I mean, just the whole construction process. Now, maybe they swing that from the bottom up, and the cables pull it. I'm just noticing that now. I don't know. I'd have to spend more time down here, and I probably will. Certainly when they get real close, I want to see when they make that connection, see if they're online or, maybe there might be an inch or two off, and you kind of wonder how close they'll get. But nowadays with the computers and whatnot, they can get it down to fractions of an inch. At least that's the game plan, I'm sure. Zug Island, that's all the heavy stuff on there, but there's even a drink that they named Zug Island over at that horse place. Oh, I might show it later. Forget the name. They got power lines running from Canada, so in a pinch, I guess we could save or share power. Here's one of those wave runners. But yeah, this was a nice day. But they weren't. I was trying to see workers. It was just it's like the end of the day type thing here. I saw someone up there, but some people might do overtime. But yeah, and sometimes they fire this thing up, and that sends up billowing smoke. Sometimes in the winter, it's really impressive when it's cold. Really throws up the billow thing. Hopefully it's just steam and not pollution, right? But there's a little chop on the Detroit River. Those wave runners would be better, like, suited for a lake and so forth. But here, look at the approach. And that's elegant, how it's doing its thing. And I'm trying not to miss anything, like while I'm here. So you kind of just get a look-see. But oh, they're on to me. Okay, not to worry. But yeah, look at these tall power lines. So Delray Park, Detroit River Fishing Access Site. It's right here off of Jefferson. It's narrow here. They've got all these cones. You wouldn't think you could get in, but you can till dusk. So West Jefferson and Rademacher South, I guess the S would be. Here's the plaza across the way on the north side of Jefferson. And yeah, this is going to be an impressive plaza. And so hopefully things go lickety-split and real quick, and no long delays. And this will be shorter for people from downriver to get across to Canada, and then easy access right onto the 401. All right, right next door is the historic Fort Wayne, and they have tours. But anyways, we're going to check inside. Coming soon, Gone with the Wind. I think we're going back in time. All right, here's the sign that you see from Jefferson, Historic Fort Wayne. And I guess somebody told me it's now designated a National Historic Site. So with that, they might not be able to tear down any buildings. But we'll see some later that I think would be good candidates for that. But certainly not the original fort, which was just to the left there. But here's some history, and with the Indian tribes, and this is interesting, the names of the tribes there. And then the other side had more information too. There was a lot of stuff there. There's a wood-carved eagle here. I had a tree in front of my house. I wanted to have a bear carved, but ants had gotten into the core of the tree and it wasn't salvageable. But that was the game plan, but no bear. I got a bear on the porch now, but it's not like a carved tree. It's like a mini bear, a baby bear. They had soccer practice, or maybe a game will break out later or whatnot, but this is a great vantage point to here. You could watch the bridge being built out here too. I'll show you. This is a big field. I don't know how many soccer fields they have, but they have a lot. And what a great place to have a game and to watch the bridge be built. But yeah, here's some youngsters going through some drills. Here, down by the river again, check this sign out. The United States-Canadian border. Fort Wayne constructed at the narrowest site on the Detroit River. Wow. So I'm as close to Canada as I can get if I extend myself out here a little bit. But yeah, that's Canada off yonder. You gotta watch your step. There's the GM Global Headquarters. You should know that by now. You'll tell me what that is in a little bit. All right, the Ambassador Bridge. But yeah, it was nice down here, and then the ducks were enjoying themselves too. There's a pretty strong current that the Detroit River has, so if they want to go down that way, they don't have to paddle or nothing. They can let the current take them. Then they can fly back. It probably would be easier that way. But yeah, I'm scouring the river to see more big boats. I'm all about the big boats. But, well, here's a pleasure craft. This thing looks like it could fly. All right, here's a picnic area here too, and they got benches. While I'm here, I should mention there was an article that's a Windsor side had about the bridge, and they said there's going to be a bike lane and a pedestrian lane that will go across the bridge. Unlike the Ambassador Bridge that doesn't allow that, this bridge will have a dedicated lane going both ways. For pedestrians and cyclists. I don't know if it's in the middle of the bridge or if it's going to be to one side or the other, but they got some public input, and apparently they said, yes, there is a niche market for cyclists. There are some people that would get a kick out of cycling across the bridge, and walkers too, people that like exercise. There's a niche market for that. And walking across the bridge, what a cool trip would that be? And then this Fort Wayne could be like a meeting place where you could park your car and then start walking, or meet your group with the cycling thing, get your group together, and then they say they're going to have bike paths all throughout Detroit. There's already plenty of greenways, so it'll tie into those other greenways. But if you want, you could probably park here at Fort Wayne and then take your bike across to Windsor. And then Windsor has a nice parkland area or whatever down by the river too. I love these things. And this one, I don't know if it's functional or not, but it still spins. That's pretty cool. But yeah, can you imagine? I would do the walking thing. Just can you imagine the view walking across the bridge? Hopefully that scenic lane or the pedestrian lane will be where you get a view maybe on the north side where you see the skylines of Detroit and Windsor, but I might be asking for too much. I don't know, but that'll still be fun to see when it's all said and done. I'm glad they added that, and that's what public input is just great for. Give the people what they want. But this is the plaza area, and that building is huge. You know, sure they got customs, and you'll have your duty. Maybe they're going to sell a lot of duty-free liquor. And maybe with the gas, too, they can do something. But here's Fort Wayne. My dad got enlisted here, and then he went for his boot camp in Missouri somewhere. But through the 50s and 60s, and I think even, I'm not sure when this was decommissioned. Oh, I have some paperwork. I got to Google it and print it out, and while I'm showing the video, I should be telling you about the history of Fort Wayne. But you get some information with these signs, of course, better than I could say it. But some of these buildings are in good shape, and others, like this one, not so much. So yeah, take pictures and everything, and then tear them down and say, yeah, they're not really adding too much to the equation. Somebody had said because they made it a historic site that they cannot have like a commercial development. Like condos would be really cool if you put up some condos, right? People would want to live around here. They got to work that out somehow where they could do that, because this is not being 100% used functionally. This Fort Wayne area has been neglected. It's now time to put a little money into it, especially with the bridge being there. All right, well, larger than life. Here's some train action. There you see a better look at Zug Island. But yeah, trains don't run through. This train is going to Zug Island. I'm right at Melville and like West End. So I'm going to skip around here. It was too slow. Yeah, I didn't know how long this would take or how long the train was, and it's going like, what, 1 mile an hour, 2 miles an hour? And it was like, it would take more than a Snickers bar to make it through that one. So I zipped around the corner, and yeah, this whole South End neighborhood, or Southwest Detroit, well, the Delray neighborhood, this area is going to change for the better, certainly, with the bridge. And so I'm sure the land grab has already been on for 10 or 15 years already. But here's the Ambassador Bridge, and Matty Maroon, the previous, well, his son owns it now, but they were going to add a second span, so they got ambitious and took it that far, trying to get people to sign on board with the bridge span. They didn't want the competition. And they put up a real good fight. Probably wasted a whole lot of money and time, but yeah, good on them. They're billionaires already, but they had to fight everybody and his brother because they wanted a monopoly on the bridge. Anyways, St. Anne's Church. This is certainly historic here and a landmark also. You'll notice it when you're on the Ambassador Bridge and you're coming back to Detroit. You'll see the twin spires. But they got a wall here, too. And look at the trucks. Man, see, now they need another bridge because that truck traffic, yikes. That's what holds you up on the bridge. There's my evil twin. Every now and then, he shows his ugly face and his physique. All right, St. Anne's. This was a school. École is French for school. I didn't go to French school or French class for like 3 years and not learn a few things. But here's our train station. Yee-haw! And this is coming along nicely. I like this. That will be great, too. That's a huge bonus here for Southwest Detroit and the Corktown neighborhood. And Cork and Gable, I think they're limited hours. Here for sale, this is 3330. What is that? Established 1954? I couldn't believe this, though. Look at this. I like their logo here. A skeleton with wings. But the Detroit Highwaymen. Oh, their building's for sale. So what is it with the motorcycle clubs? It's $1 for that small size Slurpee plus tax. And then I tried the thin and crispy pizza. And we're all proud to be American. And I can even take it a step further. Thank you very much. I can say I was born in Detroit. So that's got to count for something. Grace Hospital, you can look it up. Way back in 1960. Egads. Whew, I'm feeling it. All right, well, there's a couple of these parking garages. I'm back in the city of Dearborn. Yeah, well, I called the show Dearborn Style, and I apologize. Not the whole show is not going to be strictly about Dearborn, but I'm going to try to dedicate a little bit with Dearborn, especially with urban planning. So I'll keep you updated on the Hyatt Regency, the Village Plaza, and the Regent Court, and then the Peace Parks. That's where I'm at now in between. Well, I'm on one of the parking decks, but I'll show you in the middle is where a Peace Park is going to go. I like the lighting here, but I'm up here because this is a special day. I wanted to park up here at the tippity top because the higher you get, the better view you get. They have surveillance, and don't bring your skateboard or your rollerblades. That's what they're called, rollerblades. I had roller skates. I know how to do the rollerblades too, though. All right, det.com. I got to update my website, though, with some of the more current shows. But you can go to YouTube and just put in the search bar Spirit 2028, and that will have the library of the shows I've put up over the years. All right, so yeah, look way off yonder to the left, above that green, now a purple diamond, but the Village Plaza, what to do? That building it's been condemned now, but nobody's been hanging out there since 2018. All right, look, from the view way off yonder, behind the trees, way down there. Do you see the two towers for the bridge? Oh, yeah, and at nighttime, later on, when this is like all lit up, they'll be super cool. They might have to cut those trees down so you get a better view. We'll have to look into that. I don't know. Maybe some of the neighbors there might complain, but. All right. Well, there's the other parking deck there. Plus, that I love that smokestack. And this is the Peace Park. Now, they had a, shovel in the ground ceremony a couple of weeks back. They probably moved some dirt around for the dignitaries, but yeah, there'll be some landscaping, definitely. It looks like they're keeping the evergreens there. But yeah, in between these two parking decks will be a nice Peace Park. And you're down by the railroad tracks, and I think we should welcome the trains and look at it as a positive. But I know a lot of people say, oh, those damn trains, they're so loud, and the whistles, and oh, I'm not against trains, but they could put them somewhere else, right? And anyways, here's the park, and imagine they're a design and build place. Oh, right, get your phone out, and you can do that QR code, but you got to be quick because, yeah, that's all the time you get. All right, and then this is what the park will look like at 8. They'll have a clock in the middle. I was checking their time. Their time is not accurate there, but that's kind of neat. It's going to take maintenance year after year after year. They're going to have to budget into that. But, all right, I'm taking a look at the... this is a big to-do day here. There's a plane making its approach to Metro, if I can get it in focus. But getting near the sunset and the building's in the way. It's like, oh my gosh. If that was a Village Plaza, that would have been great. They would have taken that on down, and I would have had a clear shot. But yeah, I said, let me go to the east deck, and it's free parking. They got to trim around here, but that's the operative word, free parking. Yeah, you don't get that too often, and so you're a little tentative and hesitant. But yeah, they should promote that. Free parking, yes. So I'm trying to get the sunset, and I think it was around 8:10. I get a better view here, but I kind of missed it now. But that's not the story of the day. The story of the day will be later this evening. We'll see a blue moon. Oh, yes. They said it's blue, so gosh darn, it better be blue. That's all I can... Yeah, it was around 8:10. You just see the... Oh, I'm like 10 minutes too late. That happens sometimes. And then I knew... Look at this. I see the tripod and the camera there, and I said, wait a second, somebody else is onto this too. So there's the niche market apparently for blue moons. Because I met the guy, Mohammed, and yeah, he was even here before I was. Look at the Hyatt Regency, and off yonder, place called the Glass House. They could make that into condos too. Put a nice swimming pool out back. I don't know. Everybody works from home now, right? Ah, train action. Oh, trains rock, and they roll, too. I love trains. And then we should celebrate the trains, and it's great that they go through Dearborn, and we have a train stop. That's cool. Oh, I missed it, but yeah, the station is just down yonder. But yeah, there's housing right next here. I'm sure they complain at city council meetings about the trains being too loud. I'm just kidding, but I mean, everybody has to deal with something. Like in my area, people complain about the airplanes sometimes. Okay, so I live close to the airport. But there's a lot of NIMBYs in the world, and most NIMBYs aren't bad, except they just don't want it in their backyard. Everybody's for all this stuff, just not in their backyard, so I get it. All right, so here the Peace Park again. You can see, I was looking for where the shovels, but that's an attachment there for the high-low, the forks. But yeah, sometimes they get silver-plated shovels or gold-plated, depending if it's big to-do or not. Yeah, with the trains here, I think people, when the trains go through Dearborn, the Amtrak trains, just people take a minute, and if you're close to the tracks, just wave high. And maybe they'll wave hi back to you, and all right. But yeah, the moon action 9, or wait, it comes up 8:35, I guess. Muhammad was giving me some information. He was more into it than I was. And he's a good photographer. He's been checking all number of moon action things, and he goes to places where there's less light pollution. He goes to Pinckney, Michigan. Says that's a level 4. Okay, here some other people too. Check this out. So it's more of a niche market. Well, it's a decent sized niche market because sometimes they say it on the news and people get wind of it. There we go. And it doesn't look blue to me. It looks kind of orangey. What's up with that? Yeah, the colors are off. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here. Look just to the right, too. There's a research and engineering building built by Ford Motor there. And they've kept it pretty quiet. I have not heard much in the paper or whatnot about what's going on down there. But it looks like a big to-do. So that's another thing on the bucket list, or things that I'm going to have to keep tabs on. Here, Mohammed, you can see he's focusing in, and it zooms right in tight just so he gets the moon. So he probably gets some great moon shots where I use a 10-time optical, and they have a digital zoom, but then you lose clarity like that. So I just keep it at this. Yeah, I'm looking at the zoom now. I'll have to check that out later, but and then well, a blue moon is officially known as a second full moon in 1 month. So we had a full moon on August 1st. That was the sturgeon moon. And then you go 29 days later, so August 30th. And there's another, and it only happens like once every 2.5 years, kind of a thing. So it's not totally rare, a blue moon, but still, once every 2.5 years, you can get excited when it comes around. There's some senior towers there. Oh, I'm looking at my camcorder now. I got a really nice one. It was built in 2001, but it's a 20-time optical zoom. And I make use of it. But here's the fancy dancy equipment here. I take it, it's taking a picture every couple of seconds. Yeah, he's got the good stuff there. But yeah, you still see it there off yonder. It's cool though. You feel like one with the universe. But yeah, if you're serious and a professional, you're like Mohammed, you got the equipment. I'm just point and shoot kind of guy. Hit the on and off button and I'll work the zoom. Some people don't like doing the zoom, but there's the silhouette of the Village Plaza, and there it sits abandoned. Looks like a window's out on the top floor up there. So that's an ongoing problem. That building's inhabited. I think that's in office buildings. But Dearborn could probably do with more apartments. Get those young folks, the whippersnappers, those millennials and the Gen Z. That's the people you want to promote and get them going and get excited about Dearborn. And I fully expect those people to say to me, "Okay, boomer." which I think is incredibly funny. But yeah, boomers kind of grew up like they were the biggest thing, but yeah, I don't. It's time to pass the torch, really. Get some fresh ideas. Yeah. Yeah, we had some other people up here too, and they had their cell phones, so you can, with technology these days, you can go any level of expertise. You can take decent pictures and video with your cell phone, and that's another good thing in this day and age. You have a lot of creative people doing things. Certainly they can do it with their cell phones and then go on from there, get better equipment, better artillery. Look at downtown glowing. Oh, yes. And the smokestack and a red light district down there. Those are the best. But yeah, I'm sure there were people on other tall buildings. Another good place to do stuff like this is the Hill. All right, here's that Peace Park. And so you can come up here, well, you can't sit on a lawn chair per se, but you can stand over the rail and look as they construct that park. That will be kind of neat. Oh, yeah. I'm all over those red light districts. But yeah, just beyond there, near the smokestack, is where the train station is. Yeah, I keep coming back to this, back and forth. I'm waiting for it to turn blue. It's like a urban legend thing with the blue thing, but I don't know. All right, well, you can get your public works stand. It's a deluxe one here, and you can even do the QR code. But that's good for biking. That is a pretty big niche market, but that's good that they have places where if you got to repair a flat tire or adjust something, you get the oranges and the blues and stuff. So, yeah, this worked out really nice where the sun set and then like a half hour later, less than a half hour later, the moon's coming up. And, yeah. Wowee. From the parking deck. I don't know. They probably don't encourage this, but for the Sturgeon Moon, there was a young couple that were getting married, and they said they were the Arabic people. I don't know how it works. I don't know the full story, but they meditate on full moons. Look at the seniors, and they got some lighting action on their balconies there. See over there, different colors. So maybe they got together and they said, I'll do this color and you do that color. Looks kind of neat. There's some lighting down here too. I wonder what those places go for. But you have good access. You're within walking distance of like the downtown Westbourne. I don't know officially what they call it, but Dearborn has like two downtowns. The one on Michigan and Schaefer. But the one in West Dearborn here has more people traffic. So I guess I would count this more as the main downtown. And when they're lit up, these lamps, and they're good-sized lamps, those are for the stairs, but it's time to begin the descent. This is exciting. You just got to watch for oncoming traffic. So with the parking deck, you go slow. Okay, since 1956. Now that's really old. But their hours are till 9 p.m. But I was there just a minute earlier in the lobby, and they have a newsstand. And this is what I get. See, they're locking it up right at 9. And so I got it while the getting was good. But the Metro Times, and then for Labor Day weekend and everything, they got the festival guide. It's always a great place, or a magazine to read what's happening for the next weekend. And the didn't get that, but the Detroit Monitor is a good little magazine too. Have a safe Labor Day. I hope everybody did. Still watching the moon here. I just surfaced on ground level here. And Butcher's Grill. But I'm going to go in the New Place Lounge and get a burger. The Tigers were playing the Yankees. Fresh tomatoes from someone's garden. That's kind of neat. Freshly sliced. Then, well, I like ketchup too. That makes it a little juicier, so make sure I got enough ketchup there. Don't want to miss a spot. Lordy, lordy.
9:35,
All right.
42.
And then New York 935 is officially, yeah, this is it, when it's officially like 100% top-notch
So right
action. This is full as full can get. This is 100%, like right now.
100%.
Well, now it's actually waning. When it's getting bigger, it's waxing. And then the other one's waiting. Okay, now I'm ready for the top. I'm going to put the camcorder down for a second. I got to eat. So the New Place Lounge. And here at the ball game, you're not supposed to show footage from a Tiger game. This is from Bally Sports. But they were showing some moon action there, too. That is really nice. They have a close-up. That's better than a 20-time zoom. Sunglasses After Dark. And they're like the house band, but they don't play maybe once a month. I'm not exactly sure, but they have an in with this, and they're regulars, let's say. So I'm going to have to find out next time they're there because they're a good live performance act. All right. So, and they were into the moon, too. They had binoculars. They knew all about it. So, and then one of the bartender pointed out to the right up top was Neptune. There it is, Neptune. It was a bright planet there. Yeah, and then it fades out with the moon. But I think I got it with camcorder. So some people really get into it. Like I take it to a certain level and maybe go overboard with some things. But some people, if they're really into something, they know all the specifics and the ins and outs and research. And now with that Google, you can Google anything now. That information is right at your fingertips, literally. When I was a kid, we had an encyclopedia, but, you know, that wasn't really current necessarily unless you did it every year. Here's a flower update. This is behind my house here. Now the moon is hiding behind the cottonwood tree that my neighbor has. It's just a monster tree. But, yeah, it's twinkling up there. Then I think I got a night's rest, and then I have a friend that lives in Belleville, Dave. He said, let's check out the Belleville Tigers. So this is not a traditional Friday night football game. This is actually a Thursday night, and this is the second week of the season. And I'm not sure if the kids were even back in school. It used to be traditionally after Labor Day.
And he does some.
Okay, nice little run back here. Yeah, the Belleville Tigers were playing the Livonia Stevenson Spartans. And Belleville has a kick-ass marching band. And they're so large they would take up too much of the normal space in the stands, so I guess they put them off on the side. It's up. And penalty. Here we go. It's up. And it's good. Okie dokie, let's take a look at that scoreboard. Well, they have a huge flag here, and then they score, and then the band plays.
It's only the first quarter. How you not going? I put my name down.
Well, there's the student section for the Spartans and their cheerleaders. And they just have to punt right there. But yeah, in Belleville, Michigan, they have a nice facility here. I should have checked, but Belleville's one of the larger schools in the state. I think they're in the top 10. Fortson is also in the top 10 as far as enrollment. But now with schools of choice, I'm not sure how that works. If you can kind of, in some sense of the word, recruit players from different areas. Tiptoeing down the sideline there, but a nice scamper.
You better clear him before the next game.
Well, that looks like another score for the Belleville Tigers. Now make it 13-0, pending the outcome of the extra point attempt. Here we go.
All that running is looking.
It's up. And it's good. And 14-0. There you have it. And the band plays on. Yeah, and I was watching this game, and I was tethered to my seat because everyone's seated around us. We were in the middle of the aisle, close to the 50-yard line, but like smack dab in the middle of the parents section. But it was kind of interesting to hear the parents hoot and holler and root for their kids and the like. There's the mascot, the official tiger there. But, yeah, it was a different thing. But usually I'll walk around and try to get a different point of view, but here I'm like at the 49-yard line maybe. But that's okay. There's more than one point of view for anything, so. We had some things to take care of. Later in the evening, we had to go to the bowling alley, and my two friends were collecting their prize money from the summer league. There's a bowling alley in Belleville there. I don't remember the name offhand, but off of the Service Drive. Getting near the top of the hour, though. Might have to continue this game on Motor Capital. I'll have about a 42-minute show or thereabouts on Motor Capital, which will be a continuation of this and like the Labor Day weekend. Man, there's so much stuff going on nowadays. It's just like I feel I got to get out more. Looky there, another touchdown.
Can't hear you guys. Who is the lady on the phone? I don't know.
It's up. And it's good. Alrighty, 21-0. But Belleville is a very good team. In fact, so good they are defending and redefending. They've won the last 2 Class A Division I titles, 2021 and 2022.